Hello everyone, so today's video is about being a single mother. The last video, young lady commented and she wanted me to talk about that subject, which I found really interesting because I have a lot to share. Also, single fathers can watch this because there are some out there, but I cannot really speak on your end because I am not a guy, and women are totally different from men. I do know that being single parent, it is not easy, especially when it comes to moms, because usually the mom does a lot more than the father, but when there's cases where the mother's not around, so I know that it's just as hard for the guy. But yes, in my case, growing up, I did not grow up in the best household. I did not have the best role models, so my childhood was like, it was a lot of violence going on, a lot of physical and verbal violence, not with me, but like with my parents and siblings. And I saw a lot of things that, kids, unfortunately, living in a life like that go through. And I told myself that whenever I have kids, I would not be like that. So in my past relationship, there was no physical violence, thank God. Like I said, I would never repeat that story. But there was a lot of verbal violence, and I did not want that for my daughters. And I told myself, I have to set the example. So if I am putting up with this, they're going to put up with this, and I don't want to repeat that cycle. So I decided to move on. And I know I am giving a lot of details, and I don't want to go further into them because I don't like to talk about my personal life like that. So this is probably a lot that I've already been saying, but just so you know a little bit more about me. We don't all grow up in a beautiful castle, or being treated like I was not a privileged child. I had to earn a lot of things by working. So yes, thank God he blessed me with 2 daughters. I did not want boys when I was younger because my brothers were bullies with me, so I was all traumatized. I was like, I do not want any boys, and I did not have any boys. And now I do want boys, but having kids is not something that is easy. So I don't know if I'm ever going to have kids again. Not that I can't, I just don't. I'm too busy, and I like to work a lot. So yeah, anyway, moving forward, when my daughters were real small and I had moved out, me and the dad came into an agreement on I remember I used to work nights, and he would I would watch him during the day, take care of the schooling, and then he would help me. And we pretty much, after the split, we became really good co-parents. I think we are one of the best co-parents because we don't contact each other regarding anything besides our kids, and we understand each other a lot, and we help each other when he has things to do, when he will be out of town. I'm with them if I ever have things to do. I'm not really out of town like that, but if that's the case, he would help me. So we talk a lot when it comes to that. And it did take a long time for us to get in that situation because in the beginning there was still so much arguing going on, but after a while and years, you kind of decide what's best. Anyways, now that my daughters are older, I love it, and it's still stressing, and it's still hard, and it's still a lot of complications, and times with work that doesn't match with their school or whatever. But I have my mom, and she helps me, and that's the best help that I have, because if I were to put him in daycare or anything, I would not be comfortable. I would always be wondering what's going on, and so I have her, and like I said, he still helps me when he can because he works a lot. Something that I do have to say for the single parents is that don't stop living your life. I know work, home, cooking, and homework, everything gets really overwhelming, and then you have your life of your own. But sometimes as a mom, you feel like you dedicate yourself too much to your kids and your family, and you forget about yourself. And that's one of the worst things that you can do as a person, even a guy, anybody. It can happen to anybody, but it's okay every once in a while not to have the homework done. You don't have to cook every single day either. Take a break. There's times where you just need that, and don't feel guilty about it, because I was in that situation where I was always worried about everyone else and I always came last if there was time for me, and that took a lot. You don't be so negative, because the person you are, your children receive that. So if there are arguments going on with the mother or the father, in this case we're talking about being a single mom, so the father, don't let that get in the way. Don't let your kids hear you. They will end up resenting you or the father because of this, and you don't want that. I went through that as a kid, and I think thanks to that I learned what I did not want. Other people follow that and continue the circle, you know, but everybody is their own parent and they all do their own things, so you don't have to go by what I say. I am the mom to my daughters, and I take care of them however I wish to. You take care of your kids however you wish to. But yes, always have some time for you. If you are too exhausted that you can't keep up, it's okay. Take a break. Some things you can leave for tomorrow. But if you're not okay, if you're not loving yourself, if you're not happy or making yourself come first, then how are you going to be there for anyone else, whether it's your kids or anybody? You need to worry about yourself first. Don't stop living your life. The way I do it is, I don't really like leaving my kids anywhere randomly. Oh, because I have plans with my friends, because I know. Either I make family plans and bring them with me where they can come, or on the days that they will be with their dad, I will go out and make my plans. Like, I'm not gonna have them this Saturday. I'll call my friends. What do you guys want to do? Or make my own plans. I like being alone a lot. I like getting my things done. I'm happy when my home is clean. I'm happy when I have nothing to do and I can just relax, and I like watching movies. But yes, I need to go out because I want to now. Like, I'm at that point. Meet new people, it's fine. Don't feel guilty. I don't really bring my daughters around like many friends. It's not anything in particular that I don't like or anything. I just don't really bring them around to many of my friends. A few know them here and there, but most of my friends at the time when I had kids, I was really young, so they were all single and they wanted to do other stuff that, you know, a mom with kids can't be going out doing. So that's why I didn't really bring them around. Other things that I do, I do let him know ahead of time when I do have plans for the whole weekend, which it rarely happens. But if I do, I'll let him know like ahead of time, like, hey, you're gonna need to step up and I'm gonna be gone. But yeah, I mostly do it for him, and that's fine. My daughters do not bother me. Your kids should not be like, who's babysitting today, because both of you are parents. So hey, if one can't do it, the other one has to do it. There's no complaining. That's how I see it. So if I ever see him acting like, oh, but this, I'm like, hey, I'm working. I'm not asking you for any other reason. So, you know, stand your ground too. You don't have to feel guilty for things like that. Don't let the other person take advantage of you in that aspect. I mean, like, if, like in my case, like I said, he's the one that's mostly out of town, planning vacations, whatever. That's fine. Go for it. Do it. You know, everybody deserves their free time. But what I mean, don't take it, people take advantage, is because I know that there was a time where I wanted to do things and he was like, no. And I was always yes, yes to him, you know, so that's, I put a stop to that quickly. What else can I say? Oh yeah, another thing. Moms, please do not do every single thing for your children. You need to teach them how to be independent. Yeah, independent. I always get dependent. I'm like, wait, what does this one mean? Whatever, ignore that. Teach them how to be independent. That way they don't grow up depending on a woman or a male to get their shit together. You know what? I hate the type of moms. I'm sorry, but I do hate the type of moms that, I don't like using the hate word, but I have to in this case, that tell their daughters, find yourself a guy who has money, who owns a house, who has this and that. Why does she need to find a guy for financial resources? Doesn't she have 2 legs, 2 arms? And if she doesn't, sorry, but still, even in that case, there has been a lot of people who end up being freaking millionaires or have thousands of dollars because they're independent and don't depend on anyone else and get their shit together. So please don't teach your daughters that. Thank God, my parents were really hard workers, and I've been working since the age of 14. There's been times where I've gone to school, 2 jobs, 2 jobs at the same time while going to school and having both my daughters. True freaking story, ask anybody in my family. And still going to the gym. I would literally get no sleep. And I don't know how the heck I did it, but it did not last long. Probably like 6 months the most. And I stopped. I ended up having just 1 job and dropped out of school. But I'm going back to school now, and I love my job, thank God. But yes, teach your son and daughters how to clean, how to cook. If they're hungry, if they're older, like my oldest one, if she's hungry, she'll go in the kitchen and fix herself up if she knows I haven't done anything, or if I'm cleaning or anything, like she'll do it. And even the little one, there's been times where I take naps and my little one wakes me up with a sandwich like, Mommy, I know you're tired and you're hungry, so here. So teach them little things like that. Thank God my oldest one, she's 4 years older than the little one, so she helps me out with it. Comes to her homework, obviously. Whenever they need my help, I'll come in, but I'm always so busy that sometimes she calls herself the second mom, and I truly do believe that. And I feel bad that it has to be that way. It's not like I force her, like, go do this for your sister. Obviously I'm there too, but she is a big help, and she's very understanding. The little one's very understanding. If you ever punish your kids, I know they can drive you crazy. I know it. And sometimes I yell and say things that I don't mean, but then I always sit down and talk to them and be like, look, I know I shouldn't be talking to you like this, but that really upsets me when you do things like that. So I always tell them that I have like a valuable reason of why I'm being upset. I don't just yell at them and blah blah and that's it. So they also have a lot of trust in me. I tell them they can't have boyfriends until a certain age. Man, if I tell you the stories that I had to go through with my oldest one. When she was 7, okay, I'm not gonna go there. No, yeah, when she was 7, she already had her little friend or neighbor telling her to be her Valentine for Valentine's Day, made her a big postcard. I've had some stories with her, and she comes to me. She was embarrassed that time. She did not like the boy, so she didn't go along with it. But recently she told me about some boy that she was dating. I don't think she really knows the meaning of dating, but it was her boyfriend. And then she just told me like, yeah, I said yes, and I told her, you need to break up with him because you're not at the age. And I would have probably accepted if you were a little more responsible and came to me first and asked me for permission, and then maybe I would have thought about it and be like, well, you're being responsible and you're talking to me, but you did that, said yes, didn't even tell me anything. So yeah, she was a little upset, but she understood, and she broke up with the little boy. And she comes to me for everything, and if you don't build that trust, they're not gonna come to you. They're not gonna talk to you about certain things. Just think of things that when you were a kid you didn't like. Think of the things that you did behind closed door when your mom yelled at you and told you this and that, and you slammed the door. You remember all that shit you talked? I know I did. Well, you don't want your kids to be like that, and the only way to do that is to respect them so they can respect you. If there's something they're not understanding, maybe you're not explaining it to them right. You need to look at it both ways. And yeah, I had so many things in my head to tell you guys, and I forgot so many. But being a single parent can be a great thing, and it can be bad for other people. I see it as a blessing. Oh, when it comes to dating as a mom, the last serious relationship I was with, I don't really, if I'm dating and getting to know somebody, I don't let my kids meet the person at all until like I know for sure we're just friends or something's gonna move on forward. Like the previous one is like, I haven't really had many relationships, but I know that there was a limit, 6-month mark, and if they pass, you passed, you get to meet my kids, like official, you know, we're together. But anything like I said, even when I'm with friends, I'm kind of strict. I was also that protective parent that I don't want nobody to harm my child. I don't want them to go through nothing bad. I wanted them to be at a home, like, safe place, and I would freaking stress myself out with little dumb things that I would think. But don't be like that. Your child needs to live and go through things, and you are there to guide them. That's why I said build that trust, because when they do go through something, guess who they're coming to? And who's the best person to give them advice but the mom, you know? You carried them, you went through all that pain, and now you have them here and you're trying to make them a better person. Sometimes, like in my case, I grew up with my kids. Like we raised each other because I learned with them. and I'm still learning a lot, and I don't do a lot of things that are great or the best choices, but I do my best. And then when I do mess up, I recognize it, I accept it, and I let them know, like, you know what, this was a dumb decision. Don't do this. Don't do the mistakes I make, and accept it, because they have to also learn to take responsibility in their actions, and you have to teach them that. So yeah, if you just don't have no good advice or a good relationship, there are some moms that don't even feel connected to their kids because of how young they had them, and dads too, then I would suggest that don't be around. If you're not going to be a good influence in them and treat them with violence and nothing but like talking mess in them, then don't be around. Maybe they won't understand and hate you for that, but it's best for them to go through that than to live growing up that it's okay because their mom and their dad did this and that. Don't accept anything from nobody. There's a lot of women that stick around in the relationship just because they are not making enough money financially, but there's resources, there's a lot of things that you can do. Don't put up in a bad relationship, because your kids are going to go through that, and you're only going to blame yourself, because I don't think you want to see your kid hurt. So like I said, take care of yourself first, make sure you're good, and then they'll be good. Well, I hope you guys liked the video. Like, comment, and share about how you felt about it. And yeah, if you want to see more videos like this or have more suggestions, then let me know and subscribe. Thank you.